So guys, SAN Agbakuba has come out to tell Tinubu to do something fast because Nigerians are hungry in order to avoid a replication of what is happening in Kenya. Nigerians, you need to see what the Kenyans are doing. This time around, they are not just protesting against the bill that Ruto brought up. Instead, they are protesting that Ruto must go. And Ruto himself has tried to, appeal to them, to appease them and all that. But they are saying, no. Ruto must go. In short, the Gen Zs, as they call them in Kenya, these guys have proven that, honestly, they know the play. And do you know what? They are just complaining about the level of corruption among their politicians. So you see, this problem is an African problem. I mean, this corruption is across Africa. So Mr. Agbakuba is telling Tinubu, act fast to avoid a replication of what is happening in Kenya, from happening in Nigeria. Take a look.
Agbakuba, who spoke at a media chat with journalists on Tuesday, also warned the federal government to act quickly to avoid a food riot because of the level of poverty in the country. While noting the enormous oil and gas resources and the huge revenue generated in that sector, the senior advocate of Nigeria identified some of the challenges, to include exclusion of Nigerians' participation in key value chains of exploration, shipping, drilling, and legal services, to weak enforcement of local content laws, tax avoidance by oil rig companies, and even
poverty in the land is such that a food riot can occur anytime, because it's being pushed to a stage where a food riot doesn't happen because we said to ourselves this morning, what, we're going to fight. It just happens because people just are too hungry, and they just say, look at that shop, got akara there, they dump it. That's how it happens. So to avert a food riot, I'm calling on the president to dismantle the entire oil and gas system.
So guys, also Senator Akpabio has gifted Tinubu a second term in office. It means that another glitch is going to happen in 2027 presidential election. We all know that the APC chairman came out recently and said nothing will prevent Tinubu from, winning the 2027 election. Also, one of the times he said there is no vacancy in Aso Rock. No matter how people can try, that there is no vacancy in Aso Rock. And we've also seen how Wike has come out to, threaten a senator that she should come and run now. Come and run, that what happened in the last election can never happen. That he's now the one in charge of FCT. So guys, when you listen to how people talk, you just keep wondering if the election in Nigeria can ever be fair. Let me allow you to take a look at this.
Tinubu and his team, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, in his latest address on Tuesday, told Nigerians not to worry about challenges plaguing the country, stating that nobody would recognize Nigeria again by the time President Bola Ahmed Tinubu completes his tenure in office in another 7 years, gifting the president a second term. Akpabio made the comment during the flag-off of a bus terminal in Abuja, adding that Nigerians should only pray for the success of the Tinubu administration. Let's take a look.
I have no doubt that by the time this president is through with his tenure in this country, 7 years from today, many people will not recognize FCT. They will not recognize Nigeria again. So all I can say is let us continue to pray for him. Pray for him and be hopeful that the challenges that you see today, tomorrow you will see them no more.
I don't know if this is a gaffe for fight. Is this a gaffe for him? He's Senate president too.
No, but he's correct. He's correct.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
You know what I said?
Tell me now.
Already, as we speak today, we do not know the Nigeria again we used to know.
Based
on the poor economic condition, high inflation rate, food hardship in the country, and the way it is difficult to get food. So he's correct.
Okay.
As it is today, we do not know Nigeria. Again. So in the 7 years, if he gets a second term gig, we will not know Nigeria again.
What I mean, the president should be only doing one term.
He has the right to go for a second term.
Go ahead.
Well, it's not up to Senator Godswill Akpabio to decree a second term into existence. So if he says 7 years, No, the mandate
That's it.
that he has now is 4 years. The Constitution says that he's entitled to another term of a second term of 4 years. But that is not automatic. It is for the Nigerian people to decide.
All right.
And then the same Senator Akpabio said the other day that the old national anthem, the old national anthem was the cause of banditry and terrorism in Nigeria.
What is
so well, it's a Malabite. So, but I think he dropped the ball. He dropped the ball on those two occasions.
Drop the ball. I mean, banditry. Come on, national anthem. I mean, Akpabio.
So guys, finally, the political leaders from the Southeast have gone to meet the AGF, that's the Attorney General of the Federation, and Tinubu himself, to talk about Nnamdi Kanu's release. And I think things are looking good at the moment, because the headline I saw said Nnamdi Kanu has agreed, to accept the terms and conditions that will be given to him. If not for any other thing, Nigerians, this is a welcome development, because peace must reign in the Southeast. You need to see how criminal elements are taking advantage of what is happening in the Southeast, to cause mayhem, and businesses are being affected. So many companies are being affected, the banks, and so many things are going wrong in the Southeast. So for me, I think it's a welcome development. So guys, let me allow you to take a look at the video.
So, Nigerians want to know the purpose of your meeting with the AGF this morning, sir.
This is the members of the Southeast Senate Caucus. We know that this is not the truth. It's just that we have gotten to the point where people are now hijacking a legitimate call for his release and turning it into something that has led to deaths and destruction of properties and so many other undescribable mayhem that is going on in the Southeast. And so we came to meet with the Minister of Justice and Attorney General, because we know that at the end of the day, everything that happens in the political, in the legal scheme will eventually come to his office. And we came to appeal to him to help us to let Mr. President know that all leaders of the Southeast feel that the release of Nnamdi Kanu will help in dousing all the tensions and everything that is going on in the Southeast. And we are very, very certain that his duty as the Attorney General also gives him the powers of nolle prosequi, the powers of making sure that litigation don't continue and the sufferings of the people of the Southeast continue. That is, business leaders are willing. The clergy, they are willing. So the traditional rulers are also willing. So I do not think that anything will stop us if it comes to that. And he has also assured me that he is ready to fulfill any conditions that are put that will lead to his early release. Yes, the AGF received us very warmly and also told us that, of course, this is a request for which he has to go and study it, digest it, and take to the president, because he won't take the ultimate decision. I think it's a decision of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The appeal is that this matter cannot be resolved legally. And if we continue with the legal wrangling, that it will continue to cause the insecurities, because the legitimate demand has been hijacked by criminals, undesirables, and all manners of elements who have used it to perpetrate their own nefarious deals on the rest of the people of the Southeast. Nobody in the Southeast likes what is going on. People cannot go out of their houses on Mondays. People are maimed and killed and all that. And some people are roaming around, killing even security men in the name of looking for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. And Nnamdi Kanu himself also confirmed to me last Monday that he never made any request of that nature that anybody should go and kill people. In fact, he was very pained that the Southeast is suffering because of this. And he assured me that when the day is out is also the day that they will now know those who are legitimate agitators and those who are criminal elements.
Shehu Sani, who wrote, "The Southeast governor's visit to the president over Kanu's matter is a good one and commendable step. It's an opportunity to explore a political solution. No price is too high for a genuine and guaranteed peace. The nation cannot sleep well on a three-legged bed." I want to talk to you about this. I think that we have discussed Nnamdi Kanu. I think that, the idea of a political solution is what a lot of Southeast stakeholders have been hampering on at this point. But also in the meantime, a bill seeking to create a new state called ATT State in the Southeast passed first reading at the House of Representatives on Tuesday, sparking a debate among the Igbo community and political figures online. Well, according to the proposed legislation, co-sponsored by 3 lawmakers from the Southeast, the new state will have 11 local government areas. The lawmakers are proposing to alter the 1999 constitution to create the state from Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo states. The debate online includes support for other proposed states such as Anioma, Olu, and Adada, with arguments focusing on the strategic benefits of each proposal, while some advocate for the integration of communities outside the Southeast. Others question the Igbo identity of certain communities within the proposed states. Well, let's take some reactions. Again, this is from Shehu Sani, who wrote, "In reference to the bill before the National Assembly, creating another state in the Southeast is fair and just." Well, that's a politician saying that. Well, another Twitter user, posted some sort of, poll on his Twitter account, Voice of the Southeast. They wrote, "Exciting times ahead for the Ala Igbo as the House of Representatives has proposed several new states in the region, Olu, Anioma, Adada, and ATT State. Which one would you prefer to see created? Cast your vote and let your voice heard." I did something and I saw that I believe it is the Anioma state that got the highest vote there. Then another user there wrote, "We don't need more state. We only need efficient and effective governance." That's it. Creating more state is never for the interest of the people, but for the satisfaction of politicians. Simple. The ones available don't have light, road, water, food, hospitals, some homes, etc. And you want to add more. I know, Rufai, you want to quickly say something, but yeah, go ahead before our Niger wife.
Okay.
You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say something. See,
yeah,
I understand the case about justice.
Yeah.
Yes, because when you look at how states were created, some areas slant towards some, and you can talk about justice ad nauseum. But the truth is, how effectively run are those states that we have already on ground? Is it the same states that can't pay the minimum wage?
That's what
Or you want to increase bureaucracy on those states that keep going to government cap and ham?
Yeah.
It's just for the politicians' wishes, so that what they will do is they will create new government, new bureaucracy, new civil service, new thugs, new political thugs, and all sorts of people they can dispense favors to. And they will now create a lot more division and start to fight among themselves. The first fight they're going to have is where it's going to be the state capital. Trust me, I know about how this plays out. I remember the days leading up to the talk about the Ijebu state in the 90s. I know the fight and the dichotomy that happened between Remo and some other parts of Ijebu. There was a proposition for Odogbolu to be a capital then. Right. I know the breakback that came out of it. So it's not the sustainable way forward. It's how we can create efficiency and properly run those things, like was said in that message.
But where does it end, our favorite Niger wife? I believe that they are trying to amend the 1999 constitution to favor this sort of creation, Dr. Abati.
Maybe
our favorite wife,
first.
yes, we'll speak very quickly because I want to ask you about that as well. But where does it end? I believe one of the arguments is the fact that, you know, the Southeast has the smallest amount of states, which is about five, I believe. But also the fact is that the Southeast also has the smallest land mass. So, where does it end if other states begin to start advocating for the creation of states?
That's exactly the question. Where does it end? Because if you look at the list of the IGRs brought in, IGR revenues by state, many of these states fall quite at the bottom of this list as well. So you have states that you're creating that are going to be heavily reliant on FAC allocations. And of course, all the bureaucracy that's being created there, that's one element of it. The other element of it is that borders and the creation of borders and demarcations has not really fared well for us in Africa and in Nigeria. The more we've created borders and separated and drawn these lines, the more friction we've seen happening between different people and different types in a time where we should be moving towards creating a greater unified Nigeria. We're seeing more of a nationalist sentiment. But the problem with the nationalist sentiment is that as you create more and more pockets of people who share sort of, you know, a united nationalist sentiment, you create more otherism. Now, as you create more otherism, where are we going as a country? Very, very, I always refer to Yugoslavia. Rufai knows that that's how Yugoslavia fell apart as a nation. So we have to be very careful about where we're going with this. Of course, also while representing the interests of various groups who also feel that they need to have their own governance.
Absolutely. Dr. Abati, there has not been the creation of a new state.
It's not theory. No new state is going to be created if there is no political way to back it up. And no new state has been created since 1999, despite the fact that there have been agitations on 1999 on the basis of the fact that, you know, people are asking for equity, justice, fairness. And in the Southeast particularly, the people are saying other states, other regions cannot have more states and we don't have enough. Now, if you look at the history of state creation in Nigeria, 67, after the Civil War, or to prevent the Civil War, Gowon created 12 states. By 1971 or so, more states were added. The number increased to 19. Now, after that, the next person that increased states was Babangida. Under Babangida, the states went to 21 and then later to 30 states. Then Abacha in 1991 added 6 more states, making it 36 states. If you look at the leaders that created states, they are all military people. And they did so because the military could impose, you know, the creation of states by fiat. Will a civilian president do that? I doubt. More so again, because of the Constitution that you refer to. Section 8, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution tells us how you can create states. Now, the provisions are so cumbersome. You will have to get local councils of the areas affected to apply. Voila. You have to get representatives of the area in the National Assembly to also endorse it. You have to get a referendum. Section 8, sub 1, 4. You have to do a referendum. The people themselves have to agree that they want a state. There will be a problem with that. And then finally, you need to have two-thirds majority of the National Assembly. And what will even further complicate it is that the moment you do that, because of Section 162 about revenue allocation, other regions in Nigeria will also say what is good for the goose is good for the gander. So it's a prescription under a civilian administration for chaos. And I think that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his team, they are wise enough not to go and open that Pandora box, which will raise afresh the national question.
So guys, you have seen it for yourself. Honestly, all these news and headlines are very, very good. You know, Mr. Agbakuba telling Tinubu to act fast to avoid a replication of what happened in Kenya. That is even still happening in Kenya because Nigerians are hungry. I mean, there is hunger in the land. Whether you like it or not, it's even affecting the rich. Don't forget that Dangote has come out to say, oh, you know, that he has come out to bash at the government, you know, for increasing interest rates to 30%. Nigerians, this government will keep sucking the blood of Nigerians. I mean, you see this government, because there's no creativity in them. Nobody is thinking, how do we do it? They only feel the masses that are already dying of hunger. They just want to keep sucking from the people. So even Dangote himself has come out to like, oh my God, that this interest rate is not good for Nigeria. Neither is it good for businesses. So guys, let me know what you think of all this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.